Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Terrifying Tuesday when we talk about all things horror. And today we have to talk about Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, which has begun filming and should be out next year. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so the movie Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey doesn't have an official release date. However, they are aiming for a February 2024 release date for this movie. And they have already begun filming. This is not very far away. And the movie itself was a game changer. Whether you liked the movie or not, it did something that hadn't been done before. It actually took a character that people liked, an iconic character, and turned that character into a monster. Now, the director of that movie has stated that he plans to do it again and again with Bambi and then with Peter Pan. But it was also done last year with The Grinch. We got a Mean One movie that was basically The Grinch, only they couldn't say The Grinch for copyright reasons. That's what makes his works different from the people that have begun to imitate his work. The director and writers of this movie have rights to use this Winnie the Pooh character because he's gone into public domain. And taking public domain characters and turning them into monsters might sound crazy, but if you saw that last movie, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, you know just how insane that movie was. And while it wasn't the absolute best movie ever made, what it did have going for it was different. And different selves. Well, it was just different enough and just intriguing enough that a lot of people did tune into it. And because they tuned into it and were curious as to what it entailed, we now have a sequel that was announced all the way back a couple weeks before the original even came out. However, it has begun filming and it's going to aim to have a February 2024 release date. A nice little slasher film going on, and one with an iconic character. Now, before they did something kind of unique in that they took two of the characters and we really didn't see the other characters come in. But because they took these two characters, we got to see how they handled them, and basically it wasn't amazing in terms of FX. They looked like men in suits, men in costumes, and really cheap plastic costumes at that. They were sort of latex and just gross looking, but it worked in terms of that thing that they were doing, that whole thing where they made it different. Now, a lot of people started wondering why Tigger wasn't in it. Why wasn't everyone's favorite tiger in this movie? Well, it just so happens that he didn't have rights to use him. And the reason he didn't have rights to use him is because Tigger was not in public domain. However, all that changes in 2024. So if it's filmed and released in 2024, then they can use that character as well. And then there are a couple other characters within the Winnie the Pooh universe that could be used and brought in as killers. The only one we know that isn't going to be there is Eeyore, because basically they turned cannibalistic and ate him when the little boy left him. When Christopher Robin left them and they got mad, they didn't understand why the little boy left, and they ate their friend. And this turned them into monsters who wanted to eat living creatures, and they basically destroyed their world and waited to get revenge on Christopher Robin. And then when the people came into that house on their little vacation, it was on. It was just something that was going to happen. They protect their woods. So what happens if somebody else comes back to those woods? That's kind of the premise of the second movie. We don't know much about it, but we do know that people will be going back to that general area, and Winnie the Pooh is alive, and Winnie the Pooh will be trying to kill them. Christopher Robin is alive, and Christopher Robin will probably return for this movie. In fact, if you look up IMDb, it doesn't give a whole lot in terms of who might appear in this movie, but Christopher Robin is scheduled to appear, and Winnie the Pooh is scheduled to appear. Other than the other killers, we really don't know who else is scheduled to appear or not, but this is a very different type of franchise, and their budget is supposed to be twice what it was, at least. They're talking, now they have a big budget to do this movie, so they promise the kills will be more exciting, the movie will be more exciting. Everything about this movie should be better than the original movie was. Not only are the kills supposed to be better, but we're supposed to get more insanity along with that, because one of the weapons that has been confirmed for Winnie the Pooh to have is a chainsaw. And for me, Winnie the Pooh walking around with a chainsaw is insane on so many levels. This is not something you picture Winnie the Pooh walking around with at all, but it should make for some pretty interesting kills. And it does say something about their special effects being higher if they are in fact using a bigger weapon like that. Something that requires a little bit more FX to use tells you how big their budget has become. And that's not going to hurt it at all. I mean, the first movie's sort of one of those things where if you're curious, go ahead and watch it, because it does deliver just under the guise of that curiosity. It does deliver in terms of being different and taking that iconic character and turning him into a monster quite well, if you ask me. For all the low budgetness of the movie, they really did succeed in turning Winnie the Pooh into a monster. So you put that on a higher budget, and you possibly bring in other people, other characters from the Winnie the Pooh universe, now I'm excited. Now I'm intrigued. Now I want to see what you want to do with this next. I can't say that the first movie was my absolute favorite of all time, but it was definitely kind of cool to watch. It was kind of a little bit different. And I can't stress that enough. But when you're looking at it being just a little bit different, you also want to think about how it is going to work in terms of a sequel. Is it plausible that this sequel will actually be good? I don't know. But they have intrigued me. I am looking forward to finding out. But I want to know what you guys think. Alright everyone, as always, we want to know what you guys think. Leave us a comment in the comment box below. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of the conversation as well. Then friends, make sure you're hitting that like button as hard as you can. It's free, it helps the channel, we appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.